Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Top 10 Places to Visit in Poland Travel Guide. I have to admit, I do not know much about Polish cities or landscapes or just, I know, things to visit over there. I think just Warsaw probably, I think it's the most famous city, but I don't know what's the landscape or what the cities actually, I don't even know how the cities in Poland look like. So I'm excited to find out. Let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Guys, my name is Ryan and I want to show you some of my favorite places in the enchanting country of Poland. So here is my Polish top 10. Poland is home to some of the world's most stunning landscapes.
That's
From
so
the
cool.
medieval old town of Gdansk to the towering Tatra Mountains, Poland has so much to offer. Let's start this video off at the impressive city of Krakow. Now this may be one of my favorite cities in all of Poland.
I don't know if that was a church, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of, yeah, like Russian architecture.
Located in the southern part of the country, Krakow was founded all the way back in the 7th century, so you best believe it's full of beautiful history and architecture.
I love the combination between turquoise and the bricks, the orange bricks.
Now, one of the most impressive sites is the Wawel Royal Castle. It was built during the 14th century and was the first UNESCO.
The concept of, the castle was built in the 14th century and the city had already been around for, I don't know, 10 centuries. That's crazy.
World Heritage Site. It features architectural styles from the medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque periods. From the castle, you can make the short 10-minute walk to the main square. This dates all the way back to the 13th century, and it was the largest medieval town squares in all of Europe, which is pretty crazy. It's just fascinating to think of all the history that took place here. Now, in the corner of the square is the St. Mary's Basilica, which was built back in the 14th century, and it's a perfect example of Polish.
It's kind of weird that it's sort of, I don't know, diagonal.
Gothic architecture. Another interesting feature of Krakow is the Kosciuszko Mound.
What on earth
it's an artificial hill that was modeled after other. One of the most impressive spots in the Tatras is the Morskie Oko Lake. You can make the 16-kilometer round-trip trek. It gives
this reminds me a little bit of Denmark, well, Danish architecture, a little bit.
The city such a fun vibe. While you're there, you can just explore the streets of Old Town or take a walk along the canal. I mean, just...
This seems, I don't know, similar to a house destroyed, the door, medieval door.
Such an incredible city.
That's
now, just
so weird.
an hour's drive from Gdansk is the Malbork Castle. I mean, this is the largest castle in the world by land area, which is pretty crazy. It was built in the 13th century by the Teutonic Knights, who were German Catholic crusaders. And as the number of the knights grew, so did the castle, which encloses an area of 52 acres. I'm just crazy.
Okay, it's kind of crazy to think about this like that, but yeah, sure, they're growing, they need places to be.
To think that people were able to build such buildings back then. More than half of Malbork Castle was destroyed during World War II, but thankfully it was rebuilt to its former glory. Now,
okay, it's crazy that it doesn't look like it was rebuilt. It looks perfect.
After Malbork, we're going to head over to the Masurian Lake District.
Oh, they have a lake district.
In northeastern Poland on the border of Kaliningrad. This lake district is one of the most visited lake districts in all of Central Europe, and it's home to over 2,000 lakes. It's a perfect place to go sailing, fishing, or just swim in the lake. I mean, I just can't think of a better place to go on a hot summer day. Now, aside from the lake,
I would move there. Summer? No, I would live there.
The area is full of beautiful forest, perfect for hiking and exploring.
It's incredible.
The Masurian Lake District is definitely a hidden gem that deserves a visit. Another scenic place for nature lovers is the Pieniny National Park. Now, located in both southern Poland and northern Slovakia, Pieniny is one of the oldest and smallest national parks in all of Poland. I mean, I just think it's such a beautiful area. The river runs right.
I love how lush everything is. This looks there because the mountains are so green. It's similar to a jungle, to a Southeastern Asia, sort of Vietnam, Thailand, I don't know, one of those countries. It looks so green.
Through it, and it acts as a natural border between Poland and Slovakia. The national park is home to many animal species such as the Eurasian lynx, which I think is like one of the coolest animals ever.
It's crazy that this animal exists. I don't believe it doesn't seem real.
One of my favorite features of the park is the Three Crowns.
Oh.
The rock feature is made up of 5 sharp limestone peaks that create quite the sight. Now another beautiful nearby spot is the Niedica Castle. This 14th century castle is located just a few minutes away from the park. I mean, this whole area is just incredible. Now after, we're going to head over to the beautiful city of Wrocław. I mean, it's such a tricky pronunciation. Yeah. Now located in western Poland, about a 3-hour drive from Krakow. Wrocław is such a charming historical place. It's home to one of the most beautiful market squares in all of Europe. It's lined with elegant townhouses and cobblestone streets. Wrocław also has one of the most beautiful cathedrals in Poland. It was originally built in 1272, but has been damaged and rebuilt several times throughout the centuries.
Yeah, because again, the older things have to be rebuilt.
Love its double spires. Wrocław is the perfect place to just walk around and explore for a day. Now for our final destination, we're going to head to Warsaw, located on the Vistula River in east central Poland. Warsaw is the capital and largest city in the country. Warsaw began to grow in the 16th century when the capital was moved there. It was called the Paris of the North.
I thought it was older, which is crazy. It was built in the 16th century, but I thought it was older.
But sadly, Warsaw was damaged extensively during World War II, with over 85% of its buildings in ruins. Thankfully, today it's a bustling capital with a population of 1.8 million. One of my favorite buildings of the city is the Palace of Culture and Science at 778 feet.
This reminds me of buildings in New York.
Tall, it's the 5th tallest building in the EU. The crowning feature of the city is Warsaw's Old Town.
I love how green and sort of orange all the buildings are.
It was established during the 13th century and is full of history and medieval architecture. Like the main part of the city, the Old Town was almost completely destroyed during World War II, but it was miraculously restored and was made a real heritage site in 1980. When you're there, you can just explore the square and marvel at all the history that took place in this medieval old town. Well, that is it for my Poland top 10. Let me know where your favorite place is in Poland in the comments below. I also started a relaxation channel where I post hour-long films with calming music to bring some peace and nature in your life. I'll be doing a film on Poland very soon. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at shirley.films. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.
Okay, one of the things that it kind of, and I know obviously a lot of places in Europe have this, but it's a sad thing. They were destroyed during World War II, and there's so many things that were destroyed, but it's kind of incredible that just looking at them right now, and yes, even 30 years ago, you wouldn't be able to tell, oh, this place was completely destroyed just, 30, 40 years ago, which I think, obviously, I'm talking about probably around the 80s, not now. But I think, and you think, well, but it's not really that it hasn't been that long. It was, or maybe you would think, yes, it's been so long. But it's nothing. You know how long does it take you to build a city that's completely, I think it was over 80% destroyed? I don't even want to, I wouldn't, they did it, I think to me, they did it so fast. Because yes, of course it's not going to be easy, and you're not going to wake up one day and, oh, look, the whole city has been completely rebuilt. No, and I think there's a lot of, I don't really know the process, but I would imagine, especially a city, Warsaw in this case, that had, because it was so incredibly old, even me, despite me saying, oh, I thought it was older, but of course it was incredibly old, that when you're when they were doing the rebuilding and they were, we have to, remodel. I don't know if it was a remodel. It was a rebuilding of things. I would imagine all the architects in charge of this, because I would imagine it was this huge team that worked on this, was probably, we don't want to create something that's completely sort of new. We want to base, and we try to rebuild as much as possible, being based on the original architecture and how the original sort of things were. So I think that's a great feat, and the fact that they were able to sort of recover in such a fast amount of time, I think it's incredible. I love that. I would obviously, I think Warsaw, of course, you're gonna have to visit. It's the capital, so that sort of goes without saying. The other place that I would love to visit, it was the Lake District. I think that looked gorgeous. I love lakes. I think usually are just so, and lake districts in general, they are so incredibly pretty. They're so beautiful, and you get so many things to do. And it's just lakes, but every single lake and every single sort of like little town it's so different, and there's so many things to do, and you're surrounded by so much nature that yes, I would visit that in a heartbeat. I would take a vacation to just the Lake District in Poland, yes, because I think it's just very beautiful. And the other one that I thought was my favorite, obviously all the places were incredible, but it was Sopol, something with an S. I think I would like that. It was this little sort of beach town. I don't know, beach town, resort town, because I don't think it's a beach town, but I think yes, a resort town, like as in old timey people were. I think it was Sopot. So old timey people were going. We have some sort of health issue, because when the cold came and the winter came, they were, we are not feeling very well, because probably they had tuberculosis or something, and then they would go around to these kind of places, because I think obviously they had lower temperatures, you're near the ocean, the salt water, and there's probably more. I think when you're so high if you live in a mountain, you're going to be sort of higher, and I don't think you can tell, and probably normal people cannot, unless you live in a very specific sort of, you live in the Alps, I don't know, and there's, the air quality it's great, of course, yes, but I think the oxygen, because you're so high, I think the oxygen that you breathe in and that you take, it's a little, you can't take that much oxygen, basically. And when you are sort of in places that are sort of on valleys, or that are sort of flatter and near the ground, I think the oxygen is a little bit, it comes out easier, and that's why people were, we are retiring to our resort towns and to our baths, because it's better for us. And of course, the winter, nobody likes the winter, it's cold, and if you're coughing up a storm, or you have a lot of allergies and asthma, and a lot of like breathing conditions, then places like this, of course, were perfect. So I can see why historically it has been this sort of, this I don't know if you would retire there, but yeah, this sort of vacation spot, although I don't think they were calling them vacation spot back in those days. That's something, yes, it's sort of, people go there to sort of recharge, and because you're near the ocean, and all that. I would love to visit the pier. It says it was, I think, the longest wooden pier. Hasn't been remodeled, hasn't been rebuilt. Probably has been remodeled, because it's wood and salt water, and wood, I think, is a material that's very sturdy, but I think it damages, I think, a lot, very easily. And if you put them in places with water and salt water, they're gonna rot. So I think, of course, it's been remodeled, it's been whatever, but I would love to visit, because they're telling me, he told me it was the longest. So okay, how long is it actually? How long does it take you to go from one end to the other? Does it take you 15 minutes? I don't know. Would love to go. The other thing, I actually kind of controversial. Obviously, there's a lot of obviously beautiful places, and you kind of want to visit. And I think I would if I ever go to on a Polish vacation, Poland vacation, I would visit all of that. And also there was a national park that I would love to visit. I love all those woods, all those trees are gorgeous. And I would focus on all the national parks and all these beautiful mountains. And I get, a lot of people would probably want to visit Auschwitz. I personally, I wouldn't visit Auschwitz, just because I think the vibes must be completely off in this place. Obviously, there's a lot of terrible things that happen there. Of course, I get it, why people go and visit. I think you can't just visit the nicer places. You kind of have to visit, if you want to know a country, you kind of have to visit, I think, both the beautiful sort of nature landscapes, and then obviously those beautiful cities. But probably I think you should not shy away from the darker times in history. But if I'm seeing this from the perspective of, as a tourist, I personally wouldn't go. But yes, I know that it's the opposite for a lot of people, and they actually do. No, I want to go to Poland because I want to go to Auschwitz. I personally wouldn't, just because I think it would be awful. I think if you know the history, which obviously who hasn't, you kind of know the history. I don't need to take a look at it and see this for me to actually understand this. Obviously, it's going to be very powerful to visit, because again, and the whole thing I just said, I don't need to visit to understand the concept. I think it goes, but at the same time, I get it, because sometimes, yes, even though you know the history, you kind of need to not experience it. But I think if you're walking on those aisles and you're walking in this place, everything's gonna probably click into place, and you probably end up, the experience is gonna be more powerful, just because that one thing is for you to read, or for someone to tell you the history behind this and the stories. And it's another thing to actually walk around the place where it happened. That I think it's very depressing, and I just think that as a tourist, I probably wouldn't, just because, I don't know, it's a really a sad thing, and it's a terrible thing. And I would focus on the nicer parts, but that's just a personal choice, a personal opinion. I know a lot of people would think, no, you have to go, right? It's like, no, I wouldn't. I just want to go visit the nicer places. Just because as well, they have so many natural, sort of beautiful landscapes that I had no idea Poland had. Because I think I mistakenly, I don't know why I thought this, a lot of Poland, I thought it was, a lot of cities and historical towns. And of course, I could see that. There was, I think, Krakow and the others. And it was that. And you had your medieval castles and all of that. But I was kind of shocked by the amount of lakes and mountains, and they have the Alps. Well, sort of, not the Alps, but a Alps in this place, and they have mountains, and they have lakes, and they have woods. And I don't know why I didn't really imagine Poland to look like this. I don't know, me being silly. I had no idea. That I would want to explore that part, just because I had no idea those things existed in Poland. Because I think probably it's probably more known for the cities and not this incredible natural sort of things. And the other, it was actually, it was really funny, because I just said the other cities, but one of the other cities that I would also love to visit is the one with the weird sort of man-made spiral. I don't know, I get it, it was a monument that they did because they wanted to honor, I think it was a war hero. But I think it's really funny that how the concept, I would love to know the history behind this, and I would love to visit it. Because it's okay, what do you mean? Oh, well, I'm doing something in your honor. I'm creating this sculpture, and it's okay. Well, it's in a sculpture? No, it's gonna be this sort of a hill that we are going to do, and it has a path, and you can just climb. And obviously, when you get to the top, you're gonna have this great view of the city. So, I get it. It's funny because it's okay. I like the concept, and I like, obviously, the execution. I would love to visit. But it's really funny how it came to be. Okay, so the monument is gonna be a mountain, artificial mountain, and maybe it has some deeper meaning for the people that they were honoring, and maybe he just loved the city, and he was, I wish there was a building or something, some type of a structure in which we could see this whole city. And they were, you know what? That's how we are honoring you. We are going to create this little mountain, and if you get to the top, you're going to be able to see everything. So maybe that was the reasoning. I don't know. We'd love to know the history, just because it seems random. But I like it, and yes, I would go to visit. And the other things was, castles in Europe, of course, you're all throughout Europe, it has so many castles. But these specific castles I've never heard of before. And they look so sort of different to other castles that I've seen in Europe. I wouldn't be able to sort of explain what it was, but the architectural style, it looked very different, because again, I don't really know, because I don't know, I'm not an architect, so I wouldn't be able to tell, that this is one particular style and it differentiates itself from this other particular style. But I don't know, it struck me that those two, I think it was 2 or 3 castles, they just look very different from, I think, French castles, British castles, and German castles, which, I don't know, that was surprising to me, but yeah, I get it. It was another country. They're going to have different styles, but yeah, we'd love to know the references and what sort of styles they were using for their Polish castles back in those days. But yeah, now I want to go to Poland. But that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye!